Napoleon Hill, the power that turns dreams into reality. There comes a moment in every person's life when silence becomes unbearable. A moment when the quiet voice inside you begins to whisper something that refuses to fade. You were meant for more. It's not a random thought. It's not an illusion of ambition. It's a call, the same call that echoed through the heart of every man and woman who ever built empires from nothing. It's the whisper that woke Edison in the dark when he had failed for the 1,000th time. It's the same voice that kept Carnegie awake, dreaming not of steel, but of greatness. It's the invisible hand that guided Henry Ford when everyone laughed at his dream of a car for the common man. And that same voice, that ancient spark of divine intelligence, lives in you. Napoleon Hill called it the power of the mastermind, the power of definite purpose, the power that turns dreams into reality. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is mind in motion thought crystallizing into destiny. Understand this: every great empire, invention, fortune, and revolution began first as an invisible picture, an image formed in the mind of a single human being who refused to let it die. Edison saw the light before the bulb ever burned. Wright brothers saw wings soaring in their imagination long before they touched the clouds. Hill understood thought is the origin of all achievement. The mind is the workshop of the gods. Yet most people wander through life as if they were powerless. They wake up to alarms instead of purpose. They react instead of create. They wish, but they do not will. They dream, but they never decide. And that is where the power begins. Decision, a definite purpose, burning so fiercely in your soul that doubt has no room to breathe. When a person knows exactly what they want, the universe begins to move with them. Circumstances bend, people appear, doors open. But none of this happens until you claim your dream with absolute conviction. Napoleon Hill once said, "What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." But belief is not hope. Belief is not wishful thinking. Belief is emotional certainty backed by persistent action. It is the unwavering knowing that, though the world may laugh, your dream is already real. Only time separates you from its manifestation. So ask yourself, what do you truly want? Not what your fears permit, not what society approves. What do you, the highest version of yourself, desire to bring into existence? Because your desire is sacred. It's the seed of the life you were born to live. But a seed that's never planted will never grow. The soil of creation is your disciplined mind. This is where most people falter. They allow doubt to creep in. They allow the noise of others to drown their own vision. They feed on fear instead of faith. They let circumstances dictate destiny instead of directing circumstances. But those who understand Hill's philosophy know you don't wait for the world to change. You become the change, and the world follows. You see, success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. It is not in luck, nor in the lottery of opportunity. It is a byproduct of clarity, discipline, and faith applied to a definite purpose. That is why the greatest minds in history all shared one thing in common: an obsession, a singular focus that consumed them. Tesla's electricity, Lincoln's unity, Disney's imagination, Jobs' perfection. They did not dabble. They devoted. They saw something invisible. And through years of trial, failure, and persistence, they made it visible. This is the law of life. The unseen governs the seen. The spiritual precedes the material. You cannot hold in your hands what you have not first built in your mind. And if you will not discipline your mind, life will discipline you. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who live by default and those who live by design. The first wait for something to happen. The second make it happen. The first fear failure. The second use failure as fuel. The first pray for easier paths. The second become stronger travelers. Which one will you be? Because every day you delay your dream, you trade a piece of your soul for comfort. Every day you choose distraction over discipline. You let your vision fade a little more into mediocrity. But the moment you truly decide to pursue your purpose with unwavering faith, you tap into the very same power that built nations, shaped destinies, and lifted ordinary men into immortality. You have that same spark within you. It is not reserved for the chosen few. It is the birthright of every thinking being. You just have to awaken it. And awakening begins with belief. Belief not in luck or circumstance, but in your own divine potential. When Hill interviewed the giants of his time, Carnegie, Rockefeller, Ford, he found one truth echoed in all their words. They all believed long before they achieved. They acted as if the outcome was inevitable. They walked by faith when the road was invisible. They did not wait for evidence. They created it. That is the power that turns dreams into reality. It is not magic. It is not mystery. It is law. The same law that causes the seed to sprout, the dawn to rise, the planets to orbit it works in you when you align thought, emotion, and action toward a definite aim. And when you do, nothing, no failure, no rejection, no delay can stop you. But the world will test you. It will not hand you the crown without resistance. The moment you declare your purpose, life will ask, how much do you want it? It will throw distractions, doubts, and detours in your path, not to stop you, but to shape you. Napoleon Hill understood that temporary defeat is not failure. It is the universe's examination, a proving ground for your persistence. When Edison was asked how it felt to fail 10,000 times, he said, "I did not fail. I simply found 10,000 ways that did not work." That is not optimism. That is mastery. That is the mental steel forged through persistence, the very quality Hill called the foundation of all success. You see, most people give up at the first sign of resistance. They see difficulty and retreat. They experience delay and call it denial. But those who understand the invisible law of success know that resistance is the proof of potential. A dream without struggle is a wish. A dream that survives struggle becomes destiny. The stronger your vision, the greater your opposition, because you are not just fighting circumstances. You are fighting your own limits, your fears, your habits, your old identity. They all rise up to keep you small. But every time you push beyond them, you evolve. Every failure chisels your character. Every setback teaches resilience. Every challenge strengthens the invisible power within you, your faith. Faith, Hill said, is the eternal elixir that gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Faith is not blind belief. It is intelligent trust. It is seeing beyond what is into what can be. It is knowing that your dream is not a fantasy, but a blueprint written in the language of destiny. And when you align your belief with your purpose, the invisible hand of opportunity begins to move mountains for you. That's when the world starts calling you lucky. But luck is only the shadow of preparation, meeting persistence. There is no luck in greatness, only cause and effect, thought and action, belief and persistence. Think of Abraham Lincoln, born in a log cabin, self-educated, failed in business, defeated in politics, ridiculed, doubted, yet he persisted. Why? Because he had a purpose larger than himself, and that purpose made him unstoppable. Purpose transforms pain into power. It gives meaning to the struggle. Without purpose, you suffer in vain. With purpose, every hardship becomes a stepping stone. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers wait for inspiration. The doers create it through action. Hill wrote that action is the real measure of intelligence. You can think all day, visualize all night, but until you move, until you take that first uncertain step, the dream remains smoke. Faith without action is fantasy, but faith with action, that's creation. The world rewards those who dare to act while others hesitate, because action carries energy. The moment you act, you tell the universe, I am ready. And the universe responds sometimes gently, sometimes through fire, but always in your favor, if your intention is pure. That's why Hill's words echo through generations, because his truth transcends time. He wasn't just teaching success, he was teaching alignment. He was teaching you to tune your mind with the vibration of abundance, confidence, and definite purpose until reality bends to match it. You are the architect of your life. Your mind is the blueprint. Your thoughts are the foundation. Your faith is the mortar, and your actions are the bricks. Each decision, each belief, each hour of disciplined effort lays another stone in the empire of your destiny. But you must guard your mind as fiercely as a king guards his crown, because every seed of doubt is a thief. Every negative thought, every limiting belief, every whisper of I can't steals from your power. The mind is fertile ground. Whatever you plant grows. Plant fear, reap failure. Plant faith, reap fortune. You cannot think like a victim and live like a victor. You cannot talk about lack and expect abundance. You cannot see yourself as weak and expect strength. You must think, speak, and act as though the dream were already yours, because in truth, it already is. It only waits for you to claim it through consistent, unwavering belief. Remember this, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are. If you want wealth, think and act as one who already possesses it. If you want love, radiate it first. If you want opportunity, become opportunity itself. Your outer world will always mirror your inner frequency. That's the secret Hill learned from the titans of his age, the Carnegie secret. A principle so simple, so profound. It remains hidden from most because they're looking for complexity. They're chasing shortcuts. But truth doesn't need decoration. It needs application. It is this: whatever you focus on with faith and persistence must eventually become your reality. Focus, faith, persistence. These three forces transform desire into destiny. When your desire is clear, your faith unshakable, and your persistence relentless, creation bows before you. You become a living magnet for opportunity. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer wish, you expect. And expectation is the highest form of belief. But beware, this power is not a toy. It does not respond to half-hearted effort or idle dreaming. It demands discipline. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you master yourself, your habits, your emotions, your focus. Because you cannot command the universe if you cannot command your own mind. So wake up with purpose. Move with intention. Speak with conviction. Every day, plant thoughts that align with your dream. Guard them as sacred. Feed them with gratitude. Nourish them with persistence. And soon, you will watch them bloom into reality. There is an unseen law that governs every success story in history, the law of transmutation. It states that every thought, when combined with emotion and backed by action, becomes its physical equivalent. This is the true alchemy of the mind, the transformation of the invisible into the visible, the dream into the deed, the idea into income, the thought into empire. Napoleon Hill saw this not as philosophy, but as science. He spent 20 years dissecting the minds of the most powerful men of his age, men who turned coal into gold, ideas into industries, dreams into dynasties. He found the same formula written in their actions. Desire, belief, decision, action, persistence, realization. Every step born from the mind. Every result rooted in thought. Thought is energy, and energy never dies. It only transforms. When you hold a thought long enough, with passion and conviction, it begins to attract its own kind. People, circumstances, resources, and opportunities vibrating at the same frequency. That's not mysticism, that's magnetism. It's how Edison found the right filament, how Ford found the courage to break away from convention, how every visionary throughout history has bent reality through focus. But this power works both ways. Hold a thought of fear long enough, and it manifests as limitation. Hold a thought of doubt, and you'll attract failure. Your mind is not loyal to your potential. It is loyal to your focus. Whatever you consistently feed it becomes your world. So, what are you feeding your mind? Do you fill it with visions of victory or whispers of worry? Do you speak words of creation or language of limitation? Because every word you utter is a command to your subconscious. Every thought is a seed, and every emotion is the water that makes it grow. Guard your emotions like sacred fire, for they are the fuel that gives your thoughts life. Hill knew this truth. Emotion is the bridge between the mind and the material. That is why mere wishing does nothing, because wishing lacks emotion, and emotion is the spark that sets creation ablaze. When you feel what you think, you awaken the sleeping giant of the subconscious mind, the part of you that never rests, never doubts, and never forgets. Feed it with faith, and it will move the world for you. The subconscious does not judge, it obeys. It doesn't ask if you deserve success. It simply delivers what you repeatedly demand. It is the silent servant of your dominant thoughts. You can make it your greatest ally or your worst enemy. If you tell it you are not enough, It will make sure the world agrees. But if you tell it you are destined for greatness, it will open every door necessary for that prophecy to come true. The secret, Hill taught, is autosuggestion. The repetition of faith-infused thoughts until they become reality. Every affirmation you speak, every visualization you practice, every emotion you charge with belief programs the mind for achievement. This is not mere psychology. This is the mechanics of manifestation. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality, so imagine wisely. Live mentally in the world you desire before it exists, and the world will rearrange itself to mirror your imagination. This is why the rich become richer, not because of privilege, but because of programming. They think abundance. They expect success. They believe in expansion, and the universe reflects that belief. Meanwhile, the poor often think in terms of limitation, scarcity, and survival, and reality simply obeys their dominant vibration. The law does not favor anyone. It serves everyone according to the blueprint of their mind. But to use this power, you must master the art of focus. Distraction is the enemy of destiny. Your dream demands your full attention, your mental, emotional, and physical alignment. A divided mind cannot manifest a definite purpose. You cannot think one thing, feel another, and expect to attract success. You must be whole, your thoughts, emotions, and actions fused into one unwavering force. That's what Hill meant by definiteness of purpose. A goal so clear, so alive within you, that it burns through all uncertainty. When your purpose becomes your obsession, when your vision dominates your days and your nights, the power of infinite intelligence, that universal energy Hill often spoke of, begins to collaborate with you. It speaks through intuition. It guides through synchronicity. It whispers ideas, brings allies, and removes obstacles that once seemed immovable. But it only reveals itself to those who refuse to quit. The timid never taste this power. It belongs only to those who dare, to those who are willing to pay the price of persistence. Persistence, that sacred word carved into every success story ever told. It is the line that separates the weak from the warriors. Every dream will test your endurance. You will fail. You will fall. You will question your sanity. But each failure is not a step back. It's a step forward, refining you, strengthening your belief, proving your worth to the dream itself. Carnegie once said, "The man who cannot endure failure cannot be trusted with success, because success is responsibility. It demands maturity, mastery, and an unbreakable mind. And persistence is the furnace that forges that mind. The road will be long. Friends may leave, plans may crumble. But if your faith burns brighter than your fear, if your purpose is greater than your pain, the universe will eventually yield, because nothing can resist the will of a mind that refuses to surrender. You were not born to live in mediocrity. You were born to create, to expand, to manifest. That dream inside you, it's not random. It's your soul's blueprint. And every time you ignore it, you betray your own divinity. So wake up, decide again, begin again, and this time, do not stop until your reality matches your vision. Discipline, the silent architect of destiny. It is the bridge between desire and realization. the force that transforms motivation into momentum. Without it, even the most brilliant dreams dissolve into dust. Hill knew this truth well. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you do not control your thoughts, you cannot control your needs. And if you cannot control your needs, you will forever be a slave to circumstance. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Freedom from chaos. Freedom from indecision. Freedom from the trap of wasted potential. It is the invisible structure that allows greatness to grow in an ordinary world. Because without structure, passion burns out. Without order, dreams collapse under the weight of distraction. Look at the legends of achievement. Every one of them mastered discipline long before success embraced them. Edison disciplined his nights, turning exhaustion into invention. Ford disciplined his vision, refusing to compromise even when the world called him mad. Carnegie disciplined his generosity, channeling wealth not into vanity, but into legacy. They understood that success is not an event. It's a lifestyle built one consistent action at a time. Discipline is love. Love for your dream. Strong enough to endure the discomfort required to bring it to life. When you rise before the world wakes, when you study while others sleep, when you build when others rest, you are writing the proof of your faith. Because real faith works through effort. It does not pray for easier days. It grows stronger shoulders. It does not wish for luck. It builds skill. It does not fear failure. It transforms it into feedback. And when you pair discipline with gratitude, something extraordinary happens. Your energy changes. Gratitude is the frequency of abundance. It's the language of creation. When you give thanks for what you have, you open the gate for more to flow in. When you look at your struggle and still say, "Thank you," you rise above it. Because gratitude dissolves resistance. It turns every obstacle into a teacher. Hill understood this divine paradox. You cannot receive more while resenting what you already have. Most people block their blessings not because of lack, but because of ingratitude. They see only what's missing, not what's possible. But the masters see blessings in every challenge, opportunity in every trial, gold in every hardship. They know that gratitude turns pain into power. It converts delay into direction. It gives meaning to the journey. So, if you find yourself surrounded by difficulty, don't curse the storm. Thank it. Because storms don't come to destroy. They come to cleanse. They remove what's weak, reveal what's strong, and prepare you for the sunrise after. The seed must crack to release the life within it, and so must you. Resilience is born in those moments when everything seems to fall apart, when the dream feels distant, when your energy fades. That's when you meet your real self, not the version that shines in success, but the one that refuses to break in the dark. And that self, that unshakable spirit, is your true wealth. Because when you build resilience, nothing external can ever enslave you again. Lincoln's greatness wasn't in his speeches. It was in his endurance. He lost elections, buried his children, faced a nation divided, yet never surrendered his purpose. That is resilience, the art of standing tall when the world wants you on your knees. It is the highest form of power because it is self-created. You can inherit money, fame, even opportunity, but resilience can only be earned. And once you have it, you become unstoppable. Because resilience gives birth to confidence, the calm, knowing that no matter what happens, you will find a way. It is faith made visible. It's the quiet voice that says, "I'll rise again," even as the world counts you out. This is what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." Adversity is not the enemy. It is the sculptor. It chisels the rough stone of your character until the masterpiece within is revealed. Without struggle, you'd never discover your strength. Without loss, you'd never learn gratitude. Without defeat, you'd never understand victory. So embrace the resistance. Welcome the challenges. Every great mountain you face is proof that something powerful lies within you, waiting to awaken. The climb is hard because the view is worth it. But here's the truth: the climb never ends, because success is not a destination. It is a state of being, a way of thinking, a way of acting, a way of living. Once you achieve one dream, a higher one calls. That is the rhythm of evolution life, forever inviting you to become more. The question is not whether the dream will test you. It will. The question is whether you'll keep climbing when the applause fades, when the results delay, when the spotlight moves. Because the true masters never worked for applause. They worked for purpose. They worked for the satisfaction of self-mastery, the quiet triumph of becoming everything they were meant to be. That is the highest achievement, not money, not fame, not recognition, but transformation. The man or woman who masters themselves holds a power far greater than any fortune could buy. Because once you master your mind, you master your world. You stop reacting to circumstances and start commanding them. You no longer beg life for mercy. You design it with intention. This is where Hill's philosophy reaches its highest truth. The real success is not what you get, it's who you become. Because what you become will always determine what you attract. Your results are a mirror of your identity. Change the self, and the world cannot help but rearrange around you. So ask yourself now, who are you becoming? Are you aligning with the person capable of living your dream? Are your habits, your thoughts, your words worthy of the future you seek? Because destiny is not found, it is built. And every day, you are building it through the invisible choices you make when no one's watching. There comes a moment in every great life when a person realizes that success was never about the gold, the fame, or the applause. It was always about awakening, about discovering the divine force that has been inside you all along. Because when you strip away the noise, when you silence the world and listen within, you realize something extraordinary. You are not chasing power. You are power. The same force that spins the planets, that commands the tides, that grows a seed into a tree that force lives and breathes through you. Napoleon Hill called it infinite intelligence. Others have called it God, the universe, spirit, but the name doesn't matter. What matters is that it exists and that you are connected to it through the medium of thought. Every great mind in history, from Newton to Tesla, from Lincoln to Hill, tapped into that same infinite field. They didn't create genius, they connected with it. And you can too, because faith is not only belief, it is communication. Every time you visualize your dream with emotion and conviction, you are speaking to the infinite. Every time you act on faith instead of fear, you align yourself with that higher intelligence. It responds not to your words, but to your vibration, to the emotional certainty that you know who you are and what you are becoming. This is why success is spiritual. It's not about accumulation, it's about alignment. The wealth, the recognition, the achievement, they are merely reflections of inner mastery. Hill once said, "You have absolute control over but one thing, and that is your thoughts." This is the most significant and inspiring of all facts known to man, because your thoughts are the bridge between the finite and the infinite, the point where heaven meets earth. The world you see around you, the cities, the technology, the art, all of it was once invisible. It was once a spark in someone's imagination. That is the secret of life. Creation begins within. Everything that exists was first born in the unseen realm of thought. That means your dream is just as real. It only waits for you to hold it long enough for it to crystallize into form. The power that turns dreams into reality is not something you acquire. It's something you awaken. It has been within you from the beginning. It stirs in your hunger. It whispers through your intuition. It calls you in moments of silence. Every time you feel that restless desire for more, that is the voice of creation urging you to expand. And if you have the courage to listen, truly listen, it will lead you to miracles beyond measure. But you must surrender the illusion of limitation. You must stop saying, "I can't," and start asking, "How can I?" You must stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. Because the power that builds worlds doesn't need permission. It needs direction. And your definite purpose is that direction. When your mind, emotion, and action move in harmony toward a single aim, you become a vessel of that infinite intelligence. Ideas flow effortlessly. People appear as if by fate. Paths open where walls once stood. This is not coincidence, it's cooperation with the laws of life. The greatest among us are not lucky, they are tuned in. They live on the frequency of faith. They think abundance. They feel gratitude. They act with conviction, and so abundance, gratitude, and opportunity flow to them. That is the vibration of creation. You can join it any time by mastering your inner state. That is the final secret. Change your state, and you change your fate. When your inner world vibrates with clarity, confidence, and gratitude, your outer world reorganizes itself to match. This is why your daily emotions matter more than your daily conditions. Conditions are temporary. Vibration is eternal. Every morning, you have a choice to vibrate in fear or to vibrate in faith. And whatever you choose becomes your reality. So the next time doubt whispers, remember this truth. You were designed by intelligence, powered by faith, and destined for expansion. Your dream is not random. It is your soul's assignment. You have within you the same energy that built empires, cured diseases, painted masterpieces, and lit up the night sky. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are the continuation of creation itself. When you finally understand this, truly feel it in your bones, fear dissolves, because you realize There is no competition, no scarcity, no separation. There is only expression. You are not here to compete. You are here to complete the vision that was placed within you. You are here to express your highest potential, to be the channel through which infinite intelligence flows into the world. That is success. That is fulfillment. That is legacy. And legacy is not what you leave after you die. It's what you live while you're alive. It's the energy you give, the courage you inspire, the example you set. It's the light you ignite in others by daring to live your truth. Because when one person awakens, countless others begin to stir. And that's how humanity evolves, one awakened mind at a time. So rise, not tomorrow, not someday now. This moment is sacred. It's the only one you truly have. And inside it lies every